first conference victory coming against USF. Trying to make it 2 for 2 on the season against the Bulls. Well, it is South Florida that has won the opening tip. USF also just one conference win. It was recent. Their last home game, they beat East Carolina. Nice move to the basket. Although no finish for Tulio Da Silva. The second try does fall, however, and Da Silva gets USF on the board.
Now, Wayne, one of the things about both these teams, as far as pace, two of the fastest, or the fastest in the American Conference. They both like to get up and down the court.
Da Silva almost forced a turnover. Look for Cam Reynolds, but that's Ray Ona-Embo with the three that bounces through.
And that's huge for Tulane. Ona-Embo only makes 22% of his threes, his 10th of the year.
See Gino Thorpe leading the way for the USF lineup. Tulio Da Silva, someone they love down in Tampa, the redshirt freshman. Scored the first 2 points for USF, gets rid of it here. And forgot to cut toward the ball on that one.
Gino Thorpe's really the only playmaker for USF, and he's the guy that really makes it happen for them. That's going to need to get going.
Making it happen for Tulane. Reynolds, the 5th leading scorer right now in the American Conference. Averages 16 points a game. He's also their leading rebounder.
And he's been playing really well of late.
Going to try here at the college ranks. 17 seasons guiding NBA teams. This is year 1 as a collegiate head coach. Certainly a big league name that has come here to New Orleans. And a travel on the way from Tulio to NC State. He's an interim coach right now for South Florida. We'll see if that changes in the future after the firing of Orlando Antigua. Reynolds shot way off as Da Silva grabs the loose ball and presses forward for USF. They'll call a foul underneath.
And really is trying to get acclimated to that new style of play, really, for both teams.
Three on the way from Holston, falls short. On the second try for USF, Holston takes it in. Dumped it off to Da Silva, who backs out.
And Holston's a guy that has to play big for them. He's a guy that if he makes his first or second three, he can knock down 4 or 5 straight. But they need him to make some buckets. A very streaker shooter from distance.
Holston had 6 threes in a game earlier this year at SMU.
Now you notice USF is in zone, and it's not because Tulane is the worst three-point shooting team in the American. Really, it's just because they're a poor defensive team, and that's really the best defensive look that they've found throughout this season.
Helped them get their win against East Carolina the other night. Although for Tulane, it's Ryan Smith, the 6'11" senior, getting on the board here.
And Ryan Smith has really upped his production from last year, from a little over 2 points to now close to 9. It's been an interior presence for the Green Wave all season long.
You see the lack of continuity for USF. They've had 14 different starting lineups, 3rd most in all of Division I. Although this is the lineup, the one they're using today, the one they've used the most this year. Another takeaway for the Tulane defense as Cameron Reynolds gets a steal.
And that's one thing that USF struggles to do, is get back into defensive transition. Tulane's going to want to push the rock all game long.
Malik Morgan from the corner with the 3. You mentioned Tulane has really had a poor time of shooting from three-point range, just 29% in conference play. But a good start from the field so far, 3 for 4, including that 3, as Da Silva gets an offensive rebound and scores for USF. That's knocked out of bounds.
Going to be big in this game.
That was Michael Bibby who just checked in. They're going to say it's a turnover out of bounds. It will be USF ball.
Get that ball for USF. Just careless play on the out of bounds right there by Tulane.
Jump shot, a long 2 from Da Silva, falls through.
And Da Silva's a guy that makes his home really in that mid-range, really comfortable. That free throw line out, 47% of his shots are inside the arc.
That's Reynolds missing the 3. Smith on the putback plus the foul. What an effort by Ryan Smith on the offensive glass for Tulane. A timeout on the floor, but Stephen, we see Ryan Smith go to the glass hard and get 2 points as Tulane has a 4-point advantage.
He changed the practice, made the players more accountable, got tougher on them, and you want to make guys be accountable for themselves and for the next player on the team, and really that's what these two teams are trying to do. Difficult to do, but not impossible.
Missed free throw by Ryan Smith, trying to complete a 3-point play as USF continues to hang on to the ball. That's another turnover.
Throughout this year is their inability to take care of the ball and really the carelessness with that basketball. Right now you're seeing Tulane in a 1-3-1 press. They're going to fall back into a zone. Or actually USF rather. And this is something that Coach Bartow implemented 2 games ago, a 3-2. They've been very successful with it.
Missed 3 by Malik Morgan and trying to grab the rebound.
And one thing that Tulane is good at is forcing turnovers, and we've mentioned the turnover problems for USF. And for them to get a road win, they're going to have to be more careful with the basketball.
Ryan Smith not too careful there as he flung it out of bounds, trying to pass to Cam Reynolds. And a turnover from Tulane. Green Wave shooting 5 for 8 so far from the field. USF 4 for 8, so the offense is working when they've hung on to the ball. I've mentioned the turnover problem early on here for South Florida. These are 2 teams that have had troubles, certainly in the American Conference this year. But neither team has really given up on their season anyway. You still see tremendous effort from both of these squads, especially USF after a coaching change as Luis Santos goes to the left-handed hook. Nice feed from Ona Embo. Reynolds misses the 3. And De Silva rebounds for USF. This is Malik Fitz looking for an opening. Fitz almost had it taken away. USF using up the shot clock. Gino Thorpe looked to make a move. Thorpe has it back, shot clock at 3. Trying to dump it off. No time for that. And another USF turnover, this time a shot clock violation.
To manufacture plays, they really struggle to create any opportunities for anyone else. So not having that second ball handler for USF has been a huge problem this year.
Already seen 6 USF turnovers. 5 combined from De Silva and Thorpe. Now, Gino Thorpe's going to be cold. It's potentially going to be a long day for USF. Ryan Smith got through and scores.
And that's one of the big improvements of Ryan Smith this year from last year, is his ability to make those bunnies inside the painted area through contact. Great confidence in that play inside the paint.
Last time Tulane played here, Smith had 3 steals against Houston. 3 on the way. And it falls down for Melvin Frazier.
And that's Cam Reynolds doing a great job drawing the defense in transition, kicking it out to Frazier on the wing. And that's playing and taking what the defense gives you. It's like a guy in Melvin Frazier who normally is more accustomed to shooting around the rim, but can knock down threes. He's given a good look, and Cam Reynolds did a good job of creating that shot for him.
Frazier, a sophomore, he's averaged 10 points per game as Malik Fitz lost control near the basket. 3 on the way from Holston, that's short. And Ryan Smith a rebound. Trying to pass it to Ona Embo, wasn't looking.
No, he wasn't. You're seeing a lot of high degree of difficulty shots by USF. Not doing a good job of trying to let their offense work for them, and that's one of the reasons why they've been struggling all season long offensively.
In the American.
And they've even been able to sustain that in conference play, shooting a little under 36%, top 5 in the American. But you're going to need to knock down some threes to get a win on the road.
So it will be USF ball after that offensive foul, second team foul against Tulane in this first half. Green Wave had quite a showing the other night against SMU. Almost pulled off a tremendous upset. They were up by 15 against number 19 SMU the other night.
And they really controlled the game, and they did it defensively, really taking SMU out of all of their plays. But they had a full 4-minute offensive lull, and against good teams you can't have that. Both these teams really have played 30-minute games, 35-minute games, but against a good team needs 40 solid minutes.
Fighting his way up to the hoop, Colin Slater draws contact. With Slater, Ona Embo, both freshmen. Kane Harris, a sophomore. Frazier, we talked about, a sophomore. So there are some building blocks already in place, some good young players on this Tulane team. They hope they can turn things around quickly in the next year or two behind Mike Dunleavy.
Yeah, and Slater's a guy that comes off the bench as a point guard, a little change, a speed guard, and it's really imperative to have those type of changes because it keeps the opposition off balance.
Gino Thorpe hasn't gotten on the board yet for USF, averaging 19 points per game over his last 4. As a 3 falls off from Malik Fitz and a rebound for Reynolds. Fitz takes it away, the steal for USF. Fitz trying to drive baseline, and instead he traps.
Kick it out to your shooters or just pull it back. You don't need a turnover. Empty possessions on the road kill you.
7 turnovers now from USF in this game. They average 16 per contest. Ryan Smith found himself in no man's land, dribbles closer, and left off a hook shot but didn't touch the rim.
Great job by Frazier keeping that basketball alive. Yeah, he's the guy, and the coaching staff at Tulane very impressed with his work ethic. He really sets the tone offensively for Tulane, and he's a guy that just brings it every day in practice.
And an offensive rebound for Kane Harris, who was standing near center court. Nice pass by Smith to Reynolds.
And really that right there was the blueprint on how to defeat a zone. Inside to Ryan Smith. Cam Reynolds did a good job of seeing the sleep defender and just cut on that baseline for an easy dunk.
A cold spurt for USF. Tulane on a big run, 9-0.
And you're seeing an offensive lull here by USF, really struggling to find any route to that rim to make a basket.
We discussed it earlier. If Gino Thorpe is not shooting right now for USF, they're going to have a hard time scoring. Thorpe by far and away their leading scorer, their best player. Nice job to get underneath by Bo Ziegler, but he turns it over.
When they're not at their best, which is what's helped them thus far this year. Tulane's done a good job of handling the zone, moving the ball side to side, not getting stagnant offensively. And I think that's helped them with their offensive production.
Ona Embo with a wild shot. Native of France.
And one of the things that the game has kind of slowed down with him. He plays with pace and with speed. But again, it's defensively where he sets his mark.
Kind of similar to how Gino Thorpe was back when he was at Penn State. Now Thorpe has developed into a top scorer.
And really, that just shows that he did a good job when he sat out for a year. Guys that take advantage, you know, get in the gym, get their schoolwork done. You can see the benefits on that year when they play. Great
Silva
defense.
gets blocked. It was Melvin Frazier who got up to stuff that three-point try. Ona Embo looking to take it in, dumps it out. Kane Harris again from the corner.
And again, that's the scouting report. 46% of his shots are threes. Been struggling a little bit of late from distance. But that's a guy that when he gets hot, it's a big thing for Tulane. Right now, he's looking like that rim is wide open.
Tulane 5 for 8 from 3. This is a team that only shoots about 29% from three-point range in conference play. As a foul will be called here. Ever since he's had that huge game, he had a couple of big ones actually at 25 against Central Florida, but he's only averaged 4 points per game over the last 7. So they really want to see Kane Harris do what he's doing so far today. As Ryan Smith makes the first free throw, and Tulane has jumped USF in this first half.
And really, I talked to Coach Murray about this, Murray Bardo about this. What's important for your team? And he said an early, quick start. And he noted that Tulane, particularly against SMU, has been having those quick starts early. And USF has really struggles offensively. And you can't dig yourself a hole when you're a team that really can't find answers on the offensive side of the court.
Good ball movement, leading Holston to a three-point try, but he missed.
Mike Bibby been shooting extremely well, particularly in American Conference play.
And a freshman with a famous name. His father, longtime NBA player. Jump shot rattles through for Luis Santos.
And really, they put in Luis Santos for defense. He's an undersized big that's going to be more physical on the interior, give you everything that you have, and try to ump the ante on
look
defensive.
Kane Harris continuing to shoot the three in this one. He's got 3 triples, 9 points for Harris.
And that's when defensively you have to put him in the no-fly zone, really trail him, not let him get any looks. He's a guy that if he doesn't have space, he ain't going to let it fly, so you can't let him get comfortable.
Good job by Bo Ziegler getting to the basket. Ziegler shooting 56% for the year.
And really the biggest part of them not making a mistake in the last 3 minutes is because they've been getting the ball to Kane Harris, the hottest player in the gym.
Kane Harris off to a great start for Tulane. 3 for 3 from three-point range. And a steal here for Melvin Frazier. Frazier goes around the defense, up and under with the left hand. He draws the foul.
That was a gutsy, smart, heady play by the sophomore Melvin Frazier.
As Frazier gets the second free throw to fall. Tulane's only other conference victory this year against USF, trying to make it a season series sweep against the Bulls. Michael Bibby looking to get on the board. And now the third generation of Bibby. Forget, Grandpa Henry was a pretty good player too.
Well, yeah, I just try to imagine their breakfast. You know, you look at Michael Bibby, won 2 state championships in high school, but hey, Dad, Arizona Player of the Year, Granddad, won 3 consecutive titles with UCLA with Wooden. So, I mean, you got a lot of growth. You want to catch up to your elders.
Yeah, a lot to live up to, that's for sure, for young Michael Bibby. Bibby can shoot the 3. They elected not to there. And another steal for the Tulane defense. It's Kane Harris driving toward the basket. And they'll call an offensive foul as Harris lunged into Bibby. As far as turnovers today, it's Tulane that's taken advantage of what USF has done. 15 points off of those 10 USF turnovers. A chance for a score here from South Florida after the Tulane mistake.
Nice
and Bibby with the pass to Santos.
Bibby doing a good job off that pick and roll, finding the rolling player, and easy look for USF, something they haven't had today. And you follow that up with
tied for first place. Their 1 loss against each other. They split their season series.
And that's what's going to be important for both SMU and Cincinnati to win really the rest of their games, to try to improve seeding once they get into the tournament. Health and seeding. During that last timeout, Coach Bartow, I'm sure, getting onto his team from the 3-point line. Just on fire, and that's just a lack of defensive awareness and defensive intensity by USF.
Cameron Reynolds making both free throws, and Tulane out to its biggest lead. One of their biggest leads this season, as a matter of fact. The team with only 4 wins. So having a sizable advantage like this, not something they're necessarily used to, as Mike Bibby draws some contact. He'll go to the free throw for USF. He has been so reliable from a scoring standpoint throughout this season, especially lately.
Yeah, and he's a guy top 5 in at least 4 categories in the American Conference. And he's not scoring and manufacturing for his team. USF really struggles.
Tulane works it around to Cameron Reynolds, who misses the 3. And a rebound for Malik Fitz. USF just 1 for 6 from 3-point range. Something they're normally pretty good at. Worked it inside a lot. This time a takeaway. Frazier with the pickpocket. Up ahead. The layup falls through for Malik Morgan.
Wayne, the best type of offense is when you can get it from your defense. Great job by Tulane. weak side help on point. Frazier with the nice steal, and then just taking advantage of the miscues of USF.
Frazier third in the conference in steals. USF 16 turnovers per game. They've already turned it over 12 times in this one.
He wants to play a style of defense that he hasn't been able to yet, but he's getting there with these players. And rather than just dumbing down the offense and defense, he instituted it. So next year, he's got guys that know what he wants to do, and he can just start a little bit faster. Nice pass.
Reynolds couldn't handle it. It's out of bounds.
A lot of inside out, cross court, trying to find that open player, but more importantly, making the defense shift so that they can then attack the gaps that are presented to them.
Almost another steal. Long three from Holston, rims out. And on the offensive rebound.
Yeah, you're talking about the top offensive efficient team in the American and one of the top ones in the country in SMU. But one thing I can guarantee you Coach Bardo was talking to his team about it at halftime is turnovers. They average 16. You're 2 off the mark at halftime. You can't do that on the road. First 5 minutes are crucial for USF. You really want to forget that first half, start some positivity in this first 5 minutes and get stuff going, chip away at this lead, get it to 10, make that manageable, and then just make incremental little kinks in that armor and just go at that lead.
Long two for Gino Thorpe. USF would love to get Thorpe going. He only has 5 points after he's averaged 19 a game over the last 4.
Yeah, and those 3 personal fouls for Gino in that first half, keeping him on the bench, really hampered the offense of USF. Offensive struggles even with him on there, but without him on the court, they really struggle to manufacture points.
Yeah, Thorpe, their leading scorer, is a great defender as well. As Cameron Reynolds, with hands in his face, puts up the 3.
I'm really impressed with the evolution of Cam Reynolds' game. Nice lefty with a jumper. Last year averaging 6.6 points per game. Increased that by 10 points. And that's putting in that work in the offseason.
Reynolds has 15 now in this one, a couple of threes. He had 23 the other night. Reynolds lost the ball that time. De Silva to Thorpe, and it's Thorpe with the finish.
And those are the type of defensive stands USF needs. A nice stop, taking it in transition and getting the easy bucket on the offensive end.
Both of these teams so quick.
And USF, they want to institute that style of play. They've done that. Now you get the players that fit that mold.
Tulane averaging 69 points a game. South Florida just 65, and in conference play that's down to 61. They've had a hard time scoring, finding anybody but Gino Thorpe to get points, at least consistently.
Here you see Tulane in a zone, and Coach Dunleavy primarily likes to play man-to-man. When you're playing against a team that's struggling like USF from distance today, throw out a little zone to really frustrate them offensively.
Nice hook there by Santos for his first bucket of the second half.
Nice pass.
Ryan Smith gets rid of it. And Ona Embo will get called for the travel.
A lot of times he doesn't even look for his offense. He knows he's brought the defense on him, and he just kicks it out to wide open shooters. You need that type of unselfless play on your team really to get good offensive looks.
The 6'11" senior has come on in his final season at Tulane. Gino Thorpe just around the free throw line with the jump shot.
And they're going to need Gino to be aggressive offensively, really take matters into his own hands, maybe even take some bad shots, but he's got to make something happen offensively.
A foul called as Smith tried to go around Guerrero.
To score or make something happen for his team.
Ryan Smith gets the first free throw to drop. Tulane's had plenty of chances at the free throw line in this game. 10 for 14 at the stripe. Couple of fouls against South Florida in this second half.
And that's one of the another one of the problems of South Florida is they have the worst free throw rate in the American Conference, meaning they don't play physical without fouling. It's something that you got to do. Go move laterally, but don't foul. This young team has not learned that aspect of the defense yet.
Guerrero takes the jump shot, falls off. Great job by Santos, reaching for that rebound and getting the putback.
And that's where they love Santos, Wayne, because he's that toughness, that aggressiveness. He's going to give you everything he has on the court. And this is a team, I mean, is this a team that has only won one game in conference? I mean, they look like, I mean, they're engaged, and a great job by the coaching staff of Tulane keeping this team on that same page and really engaged in playing.
Michael Bibby with the drive to the basket. That last foul, by the way, against USF was on Gino Thorpe, so he has 4 now. A long way to go in this game, and of course he's USF's leading scorer. Frazier will get called for a traveling violation.
This year, that 10% jump in that 3%, that's really has been that marked improvement by Cam Reynolds, knocking down that shot and having that confidence from distance, and he's the definitive leader for the Green Wave.
He entered today's play as the leading 3-point shooter for this Tulane team. It was Bodway with the jump shot that fell short. Guerrero gets the rebound. And another try for USF. They actually didn't reset the shot clock, so Bibby throws it up. It looked like that shot from Bodway hit the rim.
I like the activity by Tulane in this zone. A lot of times coaches don't like to play zones because guys get lazy, but Tulane very engaged in this zone.
They have had the stroke from 3-point range tonight. 8 threes for Tulane in this game.
Definite role reversal. USF, the better 3-point shooter coming in this game, but Tulane doing a great job of knocking it down at home.
Elvin Frazier trying to keep it for Tulane.
That I think could do damage and win the American Conference. That dark horse is Houston. If they get hot shooting that 3, very exciting team, and that's the type of team that can catch that lightning in a bottle and really just take it from end to end and get that elusive NCAA berth for Houston. Ooh.
Smith tried to put it back with a dunk. Another chance, though, for Tulane as Frazier drives inside and goes over Guerrero.
You know, Frazier really has put his imprint on this basketball game, just getting all those 50-50 balls. He gets the steals, the blocks. There you get the second chance scoring opportunity, and just that grit that he provides Tulane. Really been impressed with him tonight.
Malik Fitz had a 29-point game a couple of weeks ago against Memphis. It's been quiet really ever since then as Guerrero tries to drive his way inside. Took a few steps, gets the ball back, and gets hacked. Trying to hang on to some good young players that they've acquired. USF doesn't even have a senior on their roster. One of just 4 teams in the country without a senior.
And that's really the silver lining for this team. You're getting a lot of young guys, the ability to play, really feet to the fire, and that's going to pay dividends for them next year.
There's Malik Fitz going up over Smith, but couldn't get it to drop. Now Tulane back on the run. Frazier with the drive by.
And then, again, the guy that's really been that motor player for this team, pushing it in transition, but doing all the little things, the toughness plays, the grip plays. I like what he brings to this team.
This is Tulane's largest lead of the season. And trying to wrestle that one away, Malik Morgan. He's 4 for 4 from the field. He has 14 points. Great game for him. He's also added to his steals. He's got 3 of them. He's got 16 steals in his last 8 games. Impressive
that Tulane started hot and has sustained that, because a lot of times you get a lead and then you get a little lazy. But Tulane has really done a good job of trying to keep the pedal to the metal all game long.
That was Tulio da Silva with the elevation high above the rim.
And Tulio's a guy from a talent aspect that they believe most talented on USF. But they're going to need, again, that consistency from him game in, game out.
Ryan Smith lays it down. Ryan Smith's had a pretty good day. He has 10 points.
He really has. He's done a great job of making himself available down in the paint, but then just making buckets and catching really difficult passes at times.
Holston's been ice cold today. Question is, will that be the best dunk of the day in New Orleans? Might be.
I'll let you put your money on that.
Santos turns around and hits the jumper. Tulane has continued in this second half to shoot extremely well. Colin Slater couldn't get that one off, though. Bodway with the block. Here's Frazier, and Frazier unable to make it. Da Silva fights for the rebound. First miss for Frazier today. Finally, Holston able to connect. He was 0 for 5 until that one.
Yeah, he's a guy very streaky, can knock down 4 to 5 threes per game, but also can miss 4 to 5 threes in a game. And he's very important for the distance production for South Florida Bulls.
South Florida just 2 for 13 from 3 in this game. As that one rolls down for Melvin Frazier. He's had a terrific day. Really 16 points.
He's really done a little bit of everything. Steals, blocks, push it in transition, manufactured points. He got points for other players. Really been a stat stuffer today for Tulane.
Tulane, after a great showing the other night against SMU, almost pulled off the upset. This is their maybe best showing all season, as they have dominated USF today.
And you know, you talked to Coach Dunleavy. He told his team, like, look, we're not going to get an NCAA berth in the season, but we're a team that's going to have to do it through the American Conference, and they're peaking right now. Did it against SMU, playing well. A lot of continuity from one game to the other. So really the game plan, the coach, a player that I believe can really hold a leadership position for this team in the future, because when you have a guy defensively that plays like he does, that can put his imprint on the game on both sides of the court, he's someone that when you look at him as your teammate, you have to raise your level of game to match his.
Kane Harris with the jumper. That falls for Kane Harris. He has 11. 4 of 5 from the field. He has 3 threes.
Kane Harris showing a different aspect of his game off the bounce with a nice pull-up jump shot. And he doesn't do as much.
Thorpe looked for an opening and connects from 3. Gino Thorpe has made this a 12-point game.
And again, when Gino Thorpe has been aggressive and manufactured points for himself or for his teammates, that's when USF has been a different basketball team, and that's what they're going to need down the stretch.
Thorpe has 11, most of those in the second half. He's also playing with 4 fouls. Frazier with the rainbow arc. Melvin Frazier again. 25, a career high.
Wayne, that's what you call zone. He's in the zone. Melvin Frazier, wow.
Points by any Green Wave player this year was when Reynolds had 29 against Temple a month ago today. As Melvin Frazier has helped control this game for Tulane. Cameron Reynolds has had a good game too. He has 15 points. Brian Smith 12, Kane Harris 11. 4 Tulane players in double figures.
USF back in that 3-2 zone that's been good to them since Coach Bardo has implemented it 3 games ago, trying to disrupt the offensive flow of Tulane.
And another 3, this time Malik Morgan, as Tulane has hit 11 threes in this game.
You know, he's a guy that's really key to Tulane. They need him to score.
Thorpe left that one short. Rebound for Ona Embo. At least looked like he was going to have it. Thorpe diving in to take it away. A timeout called as USF 14 Virginia. Both games also streaming live on the ESPN app and watch ESPN. North Carolina will have a tough stretch in the ACC to finish up the regular season, starting with Virginia tonight. Rebound for Malik Morgan, and there's a player down. Looks like that's Cameron Reynolds. Good day for Reynolds. Great day for Melvin Frazier.
The full court press by USF, trying to change the pace, get some steals, manufacture some points off of defense, shorten the clock that Tulane can utilize offensively.
Tulane's led by as many as 22, a season high, largest lead for them this year. As Samus Reyes got loose under the basket, he's on the board.
Again, Tulane doing a good job of creating for others. You don't see a lot of one-on-one. Great amount of assists in this basketball game. And actually, Wayne, those are the ones you miss when you're that wide open, because you just feel like someone's about to come swat it.
First time Tulane has scored 80 points since the last time they played USF. They won that game, trying to break a 9-game losing streak and make it a season series sweep against the Bulls. Frazier with a career-high day, 25 points, and he's fouled here.
And like that last possession, getting easy looks with no defense. That's what makes your offense work.
Last time these two teams played, Tulane had a season-high 21 assists. A new season high today as Zona Embo couldn't get that one to roll through.
That's exactly what happened.
Ray Ona Embo makes 1 of 2 as Tulio Da Silva gets the rebound for USF. South Florida looking at a 1-14 record in conference play. Barring a ridiculous comeback in the final few minutes, Gino Thorpe missing a 3. A rebound for Ona Embo, drawing a double team. It's out of bounds off of Santos.
But now it's time to finish it off. And again, he's just trying to create something. Great look.
Frazier got loose.
Wow.
Gives it to Reynolds for the dunk.
And that's unselfishness right there, Wayne. Frazier could have easily laid that up and made it. But he saw his teammate trying to share in the love. And that's what, I mean, that's infectious for your team.
Melvin Frazier's had a breakout afternoon.
I mean, he's doing everything. Facilitating, defensive stopper, taking in transition, now turning it over. Cam Reynolds as a trail guy, hitting it to him for the easy dunk in transition.
It's 25 points, 3 rebounds, 2 assists, 3 steals, and a block. Tulio Da Silva runs into Smith as the foul is called. Right around the new year. This is a USF program that has had some turmoil. A lot of players have left the program. You mentioned Jamal McMurray earlier.
And he's a key. I mean, he's a guy who would be top 5 in scoring in the American, clear best player for USF, and a guy, more importantly, that could manufacture points for himself and for his teammates, something that they only have Gino Thorpe for presently.
3 on the way. Missed by Ona Embo as Fitz flies in for the rebound. Da Silva with Ona Embo in his face. Couldn't get rid of it. This time he does. Good job by Da Silva to stay with it. Up top, Frazier!
Okay, that pass by Ona Embo, he threw it before Frazier even was about to jump. When you have Coach Dunleavy and he's implementing a new style, a new way of playing offensively and defensively, it takes a while. And Ona Embo, a freshman, you know, they like his maturity, but it took him a while to get that aspect of his game to be able to really implement it on the court. But again, you like what you see for the future for Tulane.
Frazier lost the ball on his way toward the hoop. As the Bulls will have it, Gino Thorpe's led the way for them today with 20 points. Very quietly getting to 20. He only had 3 in the first half. He's played most of the second half with 4 fouls, and he scores again. Thorpe now with 22.
I'll tell you what Gino has been able to do is really unprecedented as a coach, and anyone that says that he's just a great women's coach doesn't know much about basketball, because to be able to have that consistency night in and night out when you've got the bullseye on your back for decades.